My name is Leigh and I run Bit-Phalanx Music. A lot of the bands that I was meeting, and it was through MySpace, they weren't necessarily ready to perform live, but they all had amazing music, so it kind of made sense to kind of start a platform. And so I was kind of in that crowd of the net label that started back in the day, which was basically giving away free music as a download to kind of promote our gigs and promote our events. And so I did a lot of kind of residencies in West London and in the Midlands for about 2 years, and then it became a label, an actual indie label, by about 2009, 2010. I think the indie label itself as a format has probably done the best out of the whole digital revolution of the last 10 years. It's been the majors that have suffered, so I think where our strength is at the moment is we know our audience, we know our target base, and we know what the consumer habits are. I think a lot of major labels don't quite get it. They just kind of think they know what's best. They'll churn it out, but don't not necessarily know how people are consuming the music. Indie labels, through doing things like this, as well as just analysing exactly what sells, what people want in their music, why it's one of the reasons vinyl's taken off so much, because people want an aesthetic value to it again. Yeah, so that's a hard one to answer really, because it changes a lot. We just have to kind of ride the waves and see where it takes us. But I think as long as you listen to what your consumer's saying, regardless of who the artist is, you'll get a feel for it and you'll find your way. I think that's probably how all indies are kind of finding their way lately. You just have to go with the flow. I think there's a big argument for artists doing it themselves these days. I've worked with a lot of artists who have gone down the DIY route, have done the crowdfunding thing, have self-released, and there's a lot to be said for that, and I don't discourage any artist from doing it the independent route themselves. I think where the benefit of having a label on board is, though, is the support and the network and the contacts that we have, because a lot of artists who may have been part of a label previously but aren't anymore, and are trying it independently, they forget that you need the contacts, or they just haven't had the time to build that network because they're recording the music and doing what they're good at. And it's my job to kind of give them that support and put what I'm good at, which is hopefully having the contacts, having the network, having the distribution model to kind of help further their career. So it's the support network. And so a lot of artists that I have worked with, it's kind of like they're their own boss, but I help them with the external things, so it can work as an independent release with support of a label. So again, it's finding out what works for them and finding a unique recipe, if you like, to kind of get the release out, whether it's more on their terms, more on my terms, more 50-50, or completely on me. Yeah, it's a tricky balance, but it's kind of, what do you want from your release? Can I help you with this? And there's been times when I've gone, I can't help you with this. You'll be better doing it yourself. Earth is flat. They're kind of my hot tip for our label at the moment.